Hey everybody, Andrew Foraday here with Mehow.
Hey Andrew.
Thank you for being on the show. So for the guys who don't know you, Mehow, tell us about yourself.
So I've been a pickup artist for the last 10 years. Wrote 8 books. I've been in field forever, coaching in field. That's sort of our specialty. And then most recently I started hosting the Yahoo show, The Girls Game. I'm also the creator of the show, so I was the creator and the host. And last year we had 5 million viewers. We're teaching women pickup.
That's crazy. So you're actually teaching women what we teach guys.
Yeah.
Nice.
But most of our business is still men.
Okay.
Right? So we're still very much in the men's space, and we're going to continue to stay there because I really want. Actually, this last week we had a really cool thing happen. We had a male student start flirting with a female student, both using the system, which was sort of like, I was like, yes, it took a decade to get to this level, but it actually happened.
Nicely done.
They started like texting each other, and I was just like, yeah. So my mission is to really get people to be more efficient about meeting each other, right? Because you're going to find the one or just a really great fling way faster when you're meeting way more people and way more people are interesting and charming and you can really get along. We really fixed that whole chemistry issue. It's like, no chemistry, no problem.
So it's like taking the numbers game to a whole different level.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it's like efficient numbers game because you never lose opportunities. Like most guys that don't know game, like if you're a man and you don't know game, you may do a bunch of approaches but get nowhere, right? But if you know game, if you know how to be charming, if you know how to be persuasive with your personality, then every approach you do is a potential lead your wife, right?
Exactly.
And then you're gonna meet a lot of women that you just don't like. But you're also going to meet a few women that you really do like. I mean, so what we find is our students within 3 months generally have a girlfriend, even if they've come from like nowhere and they're like, oh, I just want to be a monster player. What happens is because you're meeting so many people fall for each other. So you're gonna fall for somebody, right? So you really got to be a kind of hardcore dedicated to playerdom to say no to a relationship, because with our system, you're going to find an awesome relationship.
Nice.
Right.
So for the guys who are going out there approaching and not knowing what the hell they're doing, what are 3 quick tips you can give them on their approach?
So on the approach, I always say, approach the first set on the left, whether it's guys, girls, or mixed, just to avoid approach anxiety. So the second you get in the venue, you're already opening. Okay. The second thing is, have what we call a soundbite stack. Like you want to have a formula for what you're going to say, because the biggest reason that people fail in field, they don't know what to say in the beginning. So we actually give them a formula, right? Okay. So that's really useful. And the third thing is, this really defeats approach anxiety, is to basically have a track record of success, which is kind of like, for me, inner game doesn't really exist because she can't see your feelings, right? So a lot of people are like very focused on inner game and state and all this stuff, and I just don't care. Because I don't care what your state is right now or my state is right now. If I go in and I perform well in front of the set, if I'm like basically in line, I do something that I'm happy with and they like me, all my anxiety goes away.
Exactly.
So we have a big we have a big focus on what we call performance-based game, which is basically how you come off. Because if you come off in a way that's you're happy with it and they're happy with it, everybody likes you and they like each other, then all of a sudden most of the people you talk to will like you. And so within a day, you have way less approach anxiety because all of a sudden you're like, half that approach anxiety it just comes from, oh, they won't like me, right?
And you're building off positive experiences.
Yeah, positive experiences, exactly. So it's like, when we coach live, which we do here, I mean, you're basically, at the live coaching house. This is like the 1 week we haven't had students. We've had non-stop students we just finished up a big week with women, but the entire summer was just really busy. So it's like, it's good to have a little break from it. But the point is that when we're changing everybody's performance, that's what we're focused on, right? Like we're going to get you results really fast, because results doesn't necessarily have to be right away, oh, you're having sex with a girl. Results right away, she just likes you, because that gets you through the approach anxiety, right? Then as you go on, first your sets last 30 seconds, then a minute and a half, then 2 minutes, then 10 minutes, then an hour, then you're pulling, then you're getting numbers, and you're going on dates, right? Yeah. And every time you go further, you get that experience at the end. Because you keep stacking up the experience from the beginning.
Exactly. It's like taking it step by step as opposed to like only going for the end goal.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like,
not gonna get there.
Real pickup, you just have to be macking right away. I'm like, dude, people don't know how to mac until they know how to talk.
Yeah.
You don't know how to open, how are you going to mac anything, It's just silly. The term mac is silly.
So you were talking about the soundbite formula. Could you go quickly into that by any chance?
Right, so soundbite stacking is like what we do to teach guys to get started, and it's the same thing we teach women. So, for example, if you're going to open a set, you can. This is a community classic. You can open with, you know what's amazing? I almost wore that exact same outfit as a guy, right? And she'll be like wearing a dress. She was like, I know, it's a shocker that, you know, we're not matching. I'd be like, yeah, but then I thought of you and how embarrassed you'd feel, you know, if we walked into here wearing the same thing. But I look better, right? So
and it's like giving them a playful way to like start a conversation.
Yeah, and we have dozens of things like that we do, right? And the whole point of the stack is to, you know, basically demonstrate to the woman that you have personality. But it goes way beyond that, because after a few minutes, you can't just have scripted shit in your head.
Exactly.
Right, so what do you do then?
Go off the
you have to be able to improvise,
exactly.
right? But you have to be still continuously improvise stuff that's entertaining to her. So that overall formula of always using sound bites is based on the fact that the most interesting people in the world tend to talk short, they talk high impact. Right, so everything they say is like super, super interesting.
Yeah.
Right? So instead of, you know, going on a long story, you can be like, you know what's amazing? And the girl will be like, what? When I was in 7th grade, I was the biggest nerd ever. And then she'll be like, what? Oh, really? So, you know, and I can tell a story like that, but every time that I say a little soundbite, I get an emotional reaction out of her. So be the girl for a second. I'm going to make you the girl. All right? So in 7th grade, I was the biggest nerd ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was king of the nerds. I got the best grades.
No, I can't tell that from you.
Well, I know. Thanks for noticing. I've been working out. But I know it's a true story. And there was this girl that would buy me lunches, and I would buy her lunches, but I didn't know it was true love.
Do you guys hold hands?
We did hold hands, but not until I found out how I felt about it. Because first I was kind of embarrassed.
Okay.
Right? But one day on the playground, this big bully kid totally pushed my girl. And that's when my nerd soul went like totally berserk. And I went over there and I got in a fight with that kid. That was my first fight. But when I came back, I had mad respect in the hallway. And then we held hands.
Street cred.
Street cred, right? So you see, like, I could have just told that entire story and it wouldn't be anywhere near as impactful as like I'm pausing. And every time I pause, I see an emotional reaction in you.
Exactly.
Right? And it's like, oh, engagement. So we call that, those are sound bites. And when you reformat everything into sound bites, you're creating what we call value velocity, which is the rate of emotional stimulation is really high. So instead of talking long and sort of boringish, you're talking short and high stimulation. So anything that can be said that's worth saying, you can divide into sound bites. So it's like when our
chuck it up into chunks.
Yeah, you're right. So in our system, what happens is we do this for hours, but we do it improvised style. Right, so you're basing what you just said off what she just said. So it's this magic, playful serendipity.
That's some good stuff.
Yeah, so it doesn't. So you don't have to sit there and pre-script things. You can have it like the story I just gave you. That's like a mid-game comfort story, and that's one little thing I use that's pre-scripted. But usually that provokes emotional reaction. Now she tells me a story. Now I can improvise off her story.
Oh,
right.
Nice.
So it's like she tells me she's an accountant. I'll be like, no way, that's amazing. I love accountants. But you know it's going to be weird. So when we're in bed together, you're counting all the tiles in the ceiling. It's going to turn me off a little bit. Right, so now I'm improvising. I'm being playful and attractive off something she just said. So what I'm really teaching guys is how to do this without using routines.
Nice. It's running away from the routines.
Well, because
and being more genuine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing really disingenuine about a routine, because it's like, I mean, is she really going to remember what you said in the first 2 minutes for the rest of her life? Like. No, I mean, it's like what really happens with you is your creative output, right? So it's like, you know, just because he used a line to start a conversation, that to me means nothing.
Well, I mean, like showing your personality as opposed to just having scripted personality.
Well, what happens is everybody develops, if you're successful at this, you actually develop a non-scripted, playful personality. But you got to start somewhere, because most men and a lot of women just don't know how to do this. Like, once I start giving them examples of sound bites, they're like, oh.
Training wheels, so to speak.
Right? And then as you're doing the sound bites, then there's all these other things you're doing, like you're seeding the bounce, you're getting the number, you're making her feel comfortable, you're telling her about your lifestyle, you're introducing her to her friends, all these things that, you know, need to happen in the pickup. And this actually happens for men and women. Like, we teach women how to pull. We teach women how to get the guy to give him the number, right? It's like, and it's with the women, it's a little more subtle. With the men, you can be direct because the woman expects you to be direct. Like you have to lead. But there's a lot that the women can do to get a guy that's a sort of middling game, that's, you know, wants her but doesn't know how to do it right, to sort of, she can subtly hint to him what to do next, right? So he doesn't have to be a pickup artist.
It's kind of leading them along.
Yeah, exactly. We call it ghost leading.
For the girls who want to check that out, where would they find that?
Spellboundformula.com.
right here.
Yeah.
And for the guys who are interested in more of learning about pickup, where should they?
3secondattraction.com, because I teach you how to talk for less than 3 seconds.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mehow. You've been wonderful.
No worries. Thanks, man.
Pleasure,
Andrew.
How would you teach a girl how to pick up a guy? What does she need to know? Like, if her female audience is watching this, what does a girl need to know if she's got her eye on a particular guy? What should she do to pick him up?
Right, so the first thing I always say is that personality beats the other P word, right?
Personality beats the, yes, okay.
Right? And what